12 years ago, on a quiet farm nestled between rolling hills, a foal was born under the stars. Unlike the robust, lively foals typically celebrated, this little one was startlingly small. So small, in fact, that the farmer and his family wondered if he would survive the night. While other foals clambered to their feet in minutes, this tiny horse struggled, his legs trembling beneath him. By dawn, it was clear this foal was unlike any other, a wild spirit trapped in a fragile frame. Life on the farm wasn't kind to the runt. The other horses, towering above him, viewed his weakness as a threat to the herd. Instead of accepting him, they pushed him aside, nipping at his flank and driving him to the edges of the paddock. The foal, barely able to comprehend the harshness of the world, cowered in fear. His wide eyes reflected his sadness, his spirit dampened by rejection. It was then that the farmer, a kind-hearted man named Jacob, noticed the foal's plight. Watching the small horse huddled alone, trembling and defeated, Jacob felt a pang of compassion. He couldn't bear to see the tiny creature suffer any longer. "No more," Jacob said softly to himself. Determined to save the foal, he made a bold decision. He would bring him into the farmhouse, away from the brutal hierarchy of the herd. That evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Jacob scooped the frail foal into his arms. Though small, the foal's weight was substantial enough to remind Jacob of the responsibility he was taking on. As he stepped into the farmhouse, his children squealed with delight. "He's so cute!" they cried, their faces lighting up with joy. The foal, overwhelmed by the new environment and the outpouring of affection, trembled slightly but allowed himself to be placed gently on a blanket in the living room. The first few days were tough. The foal, too scared to explore his surroundings, curled up in a corner, refusing to eat or drink. The family rallied around him, showering him with soft words, gentle strokes, and endless patience. Jacob's youngest daughter even started reading to him, her sweet voice filling the room with warmth. Slowly, the little horse began to relax. The kindness of this human family was something he'd never experienced before, and it began to heal the wounds left by his herd's rejection. As the weeks turned into months, the foal's transformation was nothing short of miraculous. He began to trust not just the humans but also the other animals on the farm. The family's dogs became his playmates, and together they would dash across the green fields, chasing butterflies and tumbling in the tall grass. His small frame, though still undersized, grew stronger. His spirit, once dimmed, now shone brightly. The family celebrated his milestones with enthusiasm. They even crafted tiny outfits for him, which he wore with surprising pride. Every time they dressed him up, he became the center of attention, his cuteness a source of endless laughter and joy. For the first time in his life, the foal wasn't just surviving, he was thriving. Years passed, and the foal, now named Phoenix, grew into a robust pony. Though he remained smaller than the average horse, his confidence and charisma made him stand out. He became the darling of the farm, beloved by everyone who met him. Phoenix had found his place in the world, and it was clear he would never again face the loneliness he had known as a newborn. One day, after nearly a decade of living with Jacob's family, a decision was made to allow Phoenix to roam free in the wild. It was a bittersweet moment. Jacob knew the pony was strong enough to fend for himself, but saying goodbye to the creature he had saved and nurtured was heart-wrenching. As Phoenix galloped into the wilderness, his mane streaming like a banner of triumph, Jacob whispered, "Go live your life, my friend." Years rolled on. Phoenix's memory remained etched in Jacob's heart, but life on the farm moved forward. Jacob often wondered if the pony had found a herd that accepted him, or if he had carved out a solitary but fulfilling existence in the wild. Little did Jacob know, their story was far from over. 12 years after that fateful night, when Jacob brought the foal into his home, he decided to visit the meadow where Phoenix had been released. The sun was setting, casting a golden glow over the landscape. Jacob stood quietly, taking in the serenity of the place. Suddenly, the sound of hooves broke the silence. A small but sturdy horse emerged from the trees, his coat gleaming and his eyes alert. Jacob's heart skipped a beat. Could it be? The horse trotted closer, his movements graceful yet cautious. As he drew near, Jacob's breath caught. There was no doubt this was Phoenix. Though older and more muscular, his unique size and the spark in his eyes were unmistakable. Jacob's voice cracked as he called out, "Phoenix, is that you?" Phoenix froze. For a moment, it seemed as though time itself had stopped. Then, with a joyful whinny, he broke into a gallop, heading straight for Jacob. The reunion was nothing short of magical. Phoenix nuzzled Jacob's chest, his eyes shining with recognition and affection. Jacob's hands trembled as he stroked the pony's mane, overwhelmed by the realization that the bond they had formed all those years ago had never been broken. The two spent hours together as the sun dipped below the horizon. Jacob marveled at how Phoenix had thrived in the wild, his coat glossy and his body strong. Phoenix, in turn, seemed to relish the human's touch, as if it brought back memories of the warmth and love he had once known. Their story didn't end there. Over the next few years, Phoenix would often return to the meadow, seeking out Jacob's company. Their bond became a symbol of the unbreakable connection between humans and wildlife. Jacob, now an older man, found solace in these visits, each one a reminder of the incredible journey they had shared. Phoenix's tale spread far and wide, touching the hearts of all who heard it. He became a symbol of resilience, proving that even the smallest and most vulnerable creatures could overcome adversity with a little help and a lot of love. Jacob, too, became an advocate for wildlife, using his experience with Phoenix to inspire others to show compassion and kindness to the animals around them. In the end, their story is a testament to the power of love and the enduring bond between humans and animals. Phoenix, the tiny foal who had once been rejected by his own kind, had grown into a magnificent pony, his spirit unbroken and his heart full of gratitude. And Jacob, the man who had given him a second chance at life, had found a lifelong friend in the most unexpected of places. As the years passed, Jacob often reflected on that pivotal moment when he had decided to bring the foal into his home. It had been a leap of faith, but it had changed both their lives forever. And every time Phoenix returned to the meadow, their bond grew stronger, a living reminder that kindness can transform even the most fragile of spirits into something extraordinary. Under the endless sky, their friendship continues to inspire, reminding us all that the connections we forge with the natural world are among the most profound and enduring gifts life can offer.